Hi there, my name's Beth and this is the story of how I renovated my 1904 Dutch sailing barge. This week we've got a lot of catching up to do. So the last few weeks have actually been a period of a huge amount of work and not a lot of filming. So I don't have a huge amount actually to show you, but I have done a lot of work. And not only have I done a lot of work in my 3 weeks off work and so on the other weekends, but also I've had my friend Jago here and also my brother Nat. So they've been incredible help. So we've got a lot done. It starts with the forward section, which I needed to finish cutting all the boards and make them fit. And get them painted so I could put them down so I could move all the junk from the aft of the boat to the forward of the boat. So that's where we start this week. So to make sure the boards fit nicely, I need to take a little notch out of the edge just to match this steelwork. So the first thing to do is measure it with my vernier calipers. This depth gauge tells me how deep I should make the cut. So I've routed out the first groove to the right depth, all the way down here. And then I just need to take this thickness off. So I could have done this on the table saw, but I just kind of wanted to try. I wanted to use the router, and yeah, I think it's looking okay really. The annoying thing is I don't have the vacuum attached to the router. Then it creates a load of sawdust, because this is the fitting that you put the hoover on. So it goes round the base plate. It screws onto the base plate, and then this is the little vent, and there's a little cover over here, but it's plastic and it snaps. It snapped with just the weight of the vacuum hose on it, so it's really annoying. I need to see if I can get a more substantial one for the DeVault router, but it's annoying when tools come like that they're not cheap tools, and yeah, they've got really cheap parts on them. So, but anyway, you know, so I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this guide. Again, I could have actually used. Oops. It comes with a guide, so you can put it on the edge, which I'm going to start to use now. But I find it's a bit more of a faff than just putting a guide on at the start. So, it's easier for me to measure where I am with the router. I think maybe I'm just making that up, but that's kind of the way I do it. But yeah, I'm going to swap to this guide now. So yeah, let's do that. Well, it was a bit of a struggle that. It's really horrible routing ply because it splits and shoots everywhere, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I've got this kind of rebate cut into it now. So when you look from the side, the router is a bit difficult to use, but I've just used it on this board, which is really long, and that would have gone through the table saw okay. So on balance, it would have been better to do with the table saw. However, this board is never going to get through the table saw on its edge safely. I'll end up damaging the blade or probably injuring myself. So I'm going to have to route that edge anyway. So yeah, I've done lots of it anyway. So the only bits I really need to do now, I need to do that one, this long one, this up here, and then I need to do the two that are on this joint here, and then they'll all sit down nicely. This is already much more solid, so that's good. All of this is now level, but this is obviously not. So yeah, I just have to keep on stopping every now and again to put Bertie under the tap to cool him down, because he's it's quite overcast today, so it's good that there's not a lot of direct sun, but by heck, it's humid. It's humid today. So yeah, we have to make sure that I have to make sure that he's drinking enough and he's cool enough. It's really hard for him, but yeah, I'll just keep on wetting him down. Good. Good. I think I've got as much as I can do today done. So yeah, I've done all the routing down here and down the other side. I've done the routing down here and here, and I've also cut some little routing out for the bolts and for the angle profile that overlaps the joist. I would, if I've got any extra time, I'm going to start cutting the battens. Well, I do need to drill for the battens, so maybe that's the thing that I need to focus on. So I'll do my drilling, put that together, do the drilling and stuff, and then on Sunday we're ready to paint the bottoms of these and stuff like that. So I'm really I'm not tired, I'm just really hot. So yeah, I'm going to go and have a cold drink and sit in the shade. All of the boards that are going to be fixed, at least boards that I can't lift up very easily, are all getting a treatment of epoxy resin on the edges. So then I need to lift all of the boards again, because this part of the build just need another coat of epoxy 2-pack. And thank goodness my friend Chris came to give me a hand with this. It's a bit of a tough job. The epoxy paint is so strong that I couldn't stay on board that night anyway, so we might as well paint the boards at the same time. So Chris hoovered out all of the dust that I've been putting in for the last couple of weeks when I've been cutting all of these boards. all of these boards are painted with epoxy 2-pack as well, and it's really just in case there's any dampness in the bilge. I don't expect any water to be in there, but if there's any dampness in there, I don't want the boards to rot. So the 2-pack epoxy makes a really nice waterproof coating. Well, I didn't really film much yesterday because it was a bit of a frantic few hours really. A friend came round to help me put the epoxy paint down, which was a lifesaver really. So it's looking really nice. So the next job, if you can call it a job, was to remove all of the aft floor, and that was between the separation between the bathroom and the twin cabin, the guest cabin, and the back of the raised saloon area. So thankfully my friend Jago was here to help me with that, who pulled a huge effort in ripping out all of that floorboards, those floorboards, and the floorboards are like as solid as steel. They're really solid. But they all had to come up because underneath was just a huge amount of rust scale, and it needed to be treated and needed access and everything. So a little bit of a shame to take the floor up, but we'll have a nice floor down there anyway. So this has been the amazing work of Jago, who's come to help me for a couple of days, and I think I've broken him. And so just let's go and ask Jago. Jago, how's your holiday been?
It's been smashing. I've never had more fun.
But he has done an absolutely phenomenal job, I can't tell you. Absolutely phenomenal. We'll have a look at it later. But so we did all of that, and then my brother Nat came to help me, and he also pulled a huge effort in helping me scrape or shovel out all of the rust scale, scrape all of that, rust treat it and paint it. And it was a hellish couple of days, I can tell you. It's hard work, and my body's still recovering from it, even sort of a week or so later, a couple of weeks later. So then, yeah, all that was left for me was to rip out the aft section, which I did. Well, yesterday was a really important day because I got all of this aft section ripped out, which means that there is no more demolition to do on this boat. No more. Everything that needs to be ripped out is ripped out, and the next job I need to do is I need to scrape out this rust and then lay down some rust converter, and when that is done, that's all of the dirty work done. Which I can't tell you what an important thing that is. I mean, it still seems like we're so far away, but that is a huge milestone. I mean, I think it's the biggest milestone generally in the project. Because years ago, back in 2021, when I started working on this project, it was really difficult, dirty work, ripping your stuff out, and it's been going on since. There's been sort of periods of non-dirty work, but this has hung over me for years, really, and it is now done. So, yeah, it's an amazing job. I am absolutely exhausted. When I went to walk Bertie after I'd finished yesterday, I could hardly walk. I just hobbled around the streets nearby to walk him, and yeah, I was absolutely exhausted. But I've just got to crack on with it. And today, what I need to do is I need to get this dirty work done. So if I can get this done today, then I'll be absolutely delighted. Then I can kind of have a bit of a rest, because it's been quite an intense sort of month. Work on the boat, and then I can just go into slightly more slower time, building this structure back again, putting the flooring in, putting the inverter in, getting the central heating system working, etc. And I'm really looking forward to getting to that part of the project. So yeah, all the help I've had in the last few weeks has been incredible. But yeah, it's a big kind of milestone. But yeah, I need to get this cleaned out. I don't really have the heart to film it and put it in the thing. I just want to get it done. So I'm just going to do it now, and then I'll catch up with you when it's done. Meanwhile, you can look at some nice pictures outside. Well, it's over. There's no more dirty work to do. At least not like that anyway. There's a little bit more painting in the area that we just rust treated. And then that's it done. But for now, for a few days, I'm going to take some time off to rest. There isn't really a traditional whiskey plank on this boat because it's not a wooden boat. Whiskey plank being when the last plank is put in, you have a dram. But there isn't one on this boat, but this is as close as I'm going to get. So I'm going to have a dram, then I'm going to have a shower, and then I'm going to sit down. It's done. It's done. Slancheva. So all that's left to do now for this part of the build, at least, is to get all of the 2-pack paint on the aft section of the hull, and maybe even the fuel tank as well. I'll just see how I get on. The fuel tank doesn't really need painting, but I might do it for completeness, as well as the bulkhead for the engine room. So yes, that's really the end of that section, or that saga of the boat, and so yeah, as I say, it's just a huge move forward. So now I can start building things in the boat and putting things in. So we have definitely turned a corner. It's been a long road, but we've got there. So with that in mind, we might have a week off next week just to kind of regroup and recoup. and then yeah, we can get back to kind of business as usual, really. So the next job's really all of this is to get the inverter in, get the electrics working. So I've got a uninterruptible power supply, meaning a power supply that doesn't cut off if I lose my shore power. And then that is going to power the central heating, the Cabola. So so all of this work really is about getting the central heating running, at least to some extent, for winter, because it's really expensive to run electric heating. So so yeah, so we'll probably take a week off next week, get a bit everything back together again. It's also my birthday on the 9th of October, so so I'll be celebrating that and not doing too much work on the boat. And it's a big one. It's 21, of course. So I'll be doing that, and then we'll catch up when we get back into a regular routine again, and I'll be able to show you more of that progress. So thanks for sticking with me. Sorry about the little pause before this video. There's been a lot going on, but we've caught up now. I'll see you next time.